and welcome to Intro to Warrior, part of our Beginners Yoga series. In this class, we're going to break down the 5 warrior poses. And just like sun salutations, these are really great for just improving your overall strength, balance, and flexibility. But more than that, there are alternative benefits such as improving your overall digestive health, your respiratory health. Obviously, we're continuing to improve our overall focus and attention as we really hone in on our breath and our body throughout these flows. And we're also improving just our blood circulation, which boosts our energy. So grab a couple of blocks and I will see you on your mat.
My way, every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
Okay, you guys, so go ahead and get started at the top of your mat. Your blocks can be on the floor in front of you, about shoulder width distance apart or so. We're going to start here in mountain pose. So toes together, heels slightly apart. Drawing the knees up, engaging our core, navel in, pulling the rib cage kind of down and in. Palms of the hands to the front of the room, pulling our shoulder blades down the back, shoulders down away from the ears. And then pulling the crown of your head up and your tailbone down as if you're a rubber band and someone is stretching you in 2 opposite directions. I want you to take a second here and just set your intention for this class. So whether it be maybe gratitude for the time that you're spending on your mat, gratitude for the time you get alone today, or maybe just patience with your body, patience with the process, maybe motivation or dedication, whatever it may be, whatever you need. Take a second and breathe it in. We're going to come back to that throughout the class today. And really focus on it. Take your first deep breath in, filling up the lungs all the way to the top, holding it, and exhale. Another deep breath. Hold it at the top. And exhale through the nose. On your next inhale, go ahead and reach your arms overhead. Slight bend in the back. Exhale, forward fold. Knees bent here, giving our body the time it needs to start to open up. Inhale, halfway lift. Your hands can be on the blocks. Straightening the legs as much as we can. Tucking the chin kind of back to neutralize our spine, pulling the navel in and up. Planting the hands on the exhale, step back to plank. Again, each class I'm going to go through our plank pose. It's super important, one of the best poses that we can hold with each class, each day for our strength and building strength. It's just the best for it. So pushing away from the mat, creating as much space between the mat and the chest as possible. It's okay, it kind of gives you a little bit of a hunchback, not the normal plank you would see in a fitness setting. So this is a little bit different. I promise the benefits are exponential. Pushing all the way through, equally through the palm of our hand to the fingertips. So we're not putting all of the weight in our wrists. We're rolling the eye of the elbow forward, tricep to the back of the mat, pulling the crown of our head forward so that the shoulders are down away from the ears, pulling the navel up and in to the spine. We're squeezing our glutes, squeezing our quads, pulling the kneecaps up, pushing all the way through the ball of our foot. On your next inhale, shift forward, shoulders over the fingertips. Exhale, chaturanga. We're going to stop here when your elbows get to a 90-degree angle. Then go ahead and inhale, upward facing dog. Engaging the quads, legs are nice and straight, pushing through the floor with the top of our feet, pushing through the mat with the palms of our hands all the way to the fingertips. Pulling that chin back, kind of retracting our neck to keep a neutral spine. Pulling the navel up and in, and on the exhale, down dog. If this is your first down dog of the day, feel free to kind of pedal it out, find a little bit more space, get the blood flowing in your hamstrings. Again, if your heels are not all the way to the ground, go ahead and bend your knees if you don't quite have that space yet. This can take a long time for your body to really open up and be capable of doing a full expression of down dog. So whatever your full expression looks like today, that is perfectly acceptable. Relaxing the shoulders here so that your shoulders are drawn down away from the ears. And pushing all the way through to the fingertips. This pose, and always, we are pulling that navel up and into the spine. On the inhale, go ahead and go onto the balls of your feet. Gaze toward the top of the mat. Exhale, bend the knees, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, pulling the navel up and in, retracting the chin. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Urdhva all the way up. Slight bend at the top. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now we're going to add on. So inhale, arms overhead, slight bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank. Shifting forward with the inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. We're going to sweep our right leg up on the inhale. Hips square to the mat. Coming up onto the left ball of the foot. Exhale, bring the right knee to the chest. We're stepping through to warrior one. So in warrior one, again, blocks come in handy here so that you have the space to step through without kind of tweaking your body. We're going to have the right foot almost in line with our right hand. Left foot is going to come slightly to the left. We're turning it to a 45-degree angle so that your left toes are kind of facing the top left corner of your mat. We're going to slowly rise with the inhale, keeping the hips square to the front of the mat. Now squaring the hips kind of pulls that right knee back so that it's not flying out over to your right toes. It's honestly not really bad for your body to do this, although some teachers teach that way. It's more just the weight distribution. So if you have ankle problems or joint problems, that could make them worse. So we're trying to keep the knee stacked on top of the ankle if we can, maybe a little bit behind by squaring these hips. If you need a little bit more space, if you have lower back problems, for example, it can make it really difficult to get your back left ankle in this position. So the farther you move it out to the left, the easier it is to square your hips. So do what feels right and safe in your body. We're relaxing our shoulders, arms up to the sky, fingertips kind of loose and wiggly. They don't need to be too tight. Don't engage any muscles that you don't need right now. We are squeezing our left glute in order to push that left hip forward, drawing the ribs down and in to keep a neutral spine. On our exhale, we're going to open up to warrior two. So you don't really need to move much here. Our hips are going to be angled to the top left corner of the mat. So we're not opening them all the way to the side. Did you see how my hip just popped? So we don't want that to happen. We want to focus the hips to the top left corner. If you need to widen your stance slightly, go ahead and kind of scoot that left foot back if you need to. Again, the farther left your back left foot is, the easier it is to stand and to keep your balance. So arms are going to come kind of windmill front and back. So take a glance back and see, glancing over your left fingertips, they should be straight toward the back of the mat. Arms are straight, and look back to the front. Right arm is straight in front of you as well. Go ahead and take this. You can deepen. The more your hips are towards that top left corner, the deeper your stance can be. So same thing here. What we're going for is to stack the knee over the ankle. You can go farther than that if it's comfortable in your body. Otherwise, I recommend just widening your stance a little bit more so that they can stack. So this is warrior two. Again, acting as if you're a rubber band, Your arms are being stretched from the front to the back by two people pulling on them. Try and take it a little bit deeper, sinking into that right front leg. Great, you guys. Now flip the right palm to the ceiling. We're gonna reverse our warrior. So dropping our left palm kind of to the back of the knee. Hips are staying exactly where they are. All we're doing is arching the back and reaching that upper right hand backward. This is reverse warrior. We should feel a nice stretch all the way from the pinky of the right hand through the side body, all the way to the hip, the right hip. Next, inhale, bring it back to warrior two. And now we're going to turn onto the ball of the left foot, kind of windmilling that left arm back up to the top to crescent lunge. Now crescent lunge is just like warrior one, except that we are on the ball of the back foot instead of it being flat at that 45-degree angle. Go ahead and lower the chest. We're going to draw the arms back, lower the chest to the right quad, and we're going to prepare for warrior three. So we're going to shift the weight forward as much as we can by pushing through the left toes, shifting all of our weight onto the right leg and pushing up until all of the weight is on our right leg. You do have your blocks here for balance, so if you need to flip them up and kind of hold on to them to keep your balance, please do so. Again, do what feels right for you and in your practice, and depending on where you are in your practice. So in warrior three, the more we bend the leg, the more balance we're gonna have, right? So if you wanna keep a slight bend in the leg, we're trying to keep our hips square to the ground. So we're not opening up to the side. That does cause kind of unnecessary wear on our right hip joint. Since we have all of our weight in this leg, try and keep it nice and stable. It's not an easy pose to hold for a long period of time. We're pulling the crown of our head forward, left toes all the way back. Arms can be either balancing on your blocks, they can be floating back behind you, or they can be straight out in front of you. If they're in front, make sure you're relaxing your shoulders. Some people like to clasp their hands, make a number one position. Again, whatever feels right for you. I prefer arms back. We're gonna go ahead and lower slowly back to crescent lunge. Inhale, arms up. And now on the exhale, we're gonna turn that left foot back to the 45-degree angle to warrior one. We're gonna clasp our hands behind us, pulling the heart to the ceiling. Hips are still square to the front of the mat. And then we're gonna slowly lower our chest to the right quad for humble warrior. Arms can kind of come up naturally as you lean forward. Our goal here is not to rest on our right leg. We're really just engaging the core, engaging that quad, pulling our weight down and letting the arms naturally rise, not pushing our shoulders too much. And also we're pushing our weight back to the left, the side of the left foot that's in the back. So all the way to the outside of the foot. Try and rest your neck if you can. We're going to inhale back up to warrior one. Exhale, plant the hands, turning onto the ball of the left foot. We're going to step back to plank and take your vinyasa, shifting forward on the inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Feel free to move your blocks back under your hands if you would like them. We're going to repeat that on the left side. So swinging the left leg up with the inhale, hips square to the ground, coming up on the right ball of the foot. Exhale, left knee to chest, stepping through for warrior one. Take a second to adjust if you want to move that right foot out to the right. Inhale, warrior one. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the jaw, the mouth, the eyes. Wiggle the fingers. Really squaring the hips to the front. Squeezing that right glute, making sure the right leg is locked out. Quad is engaged. Ribs are drawn in to keep that neutral spine. Next, exhale, go ahead and open up to warrior two. I like to widen my stance just slightly. Not necessary if you don't want to. Hips are now square to the right top corner of the mat. Taking a glance back at my right arm, looking over my right fingertips, is my arm directly back behind me. Left arm directly to the front. Again, drawing the rib cage in and down. And then I'm going to deepen my stance. Really focusing on the breath, especially when we start to fatigue. Let's focus on our breath, keep our heart rate down. Big deep breaths here. Try and deepen it just a little bit more. Don't move those hips, still towards the top left or top right corner of the mat. Go ahead and flip the left palm to the ceiling. Inhale for reverse warrior. Feeling the stretch all the way from the left pinky through the left side body all the way to the left hip. Exhale, back up to warrior two. Now we're going to turn onto the ball of our right foot into crescent lunge. So we're squaring our hips back to the front of the mat. If you need to adjust your stance, pull it in slightly. Feel free, squeezing the right glute, right leg, making sure it's nice and locked out. And then we're going to slowly lower our chest to our left quad, arms floating backward. Shifting the weight forward from the right toes, go ahead and push up to warrior three. Again, option here to balance on your blocks. Kind of feel where you're at in your body. Are your hips square to the floor? We shouldn't be opening them up. Pulling the toes to the back of the room, crown of the head to the front. If you want to keep a slight bend in the knee, you can either float your hands behind you, arms in front of you, arms together in a point. Pulling our ribs in. Really squeezing and engaging here. Super difficult pose. Slowly lowering back to crescent lunge. Inhale, arms up. Exhale to warrior one, lowering that back right heel. We're going to inhale, clasping the hands behind us, pulling the heart to the ceiling, letting the head slowly lower back. Then on the exhale, slowly lowering the chest, slightly to the right, to the top right corner of the mat. Again, not resting on the left leg. And inhale, back up to warrior one. Exhale, coming onto the ball of the right foot, planting the hands, stepping back to plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale onto the balls of the feet. Exhale, step or hop. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms overhead. Slight bend in the back. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms overhead. Slight bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or hop. If you're hopping, hop straight to chaturanga. Shift forward. Upward facing dog. And exhale, down dog. A little bit more quickly this time. Swinging that right leg up, hips square to the ground. Inhale, onto the ball of the foot. Exhale, stepping through to warrior one. Adjusting your stance if you need to. Hips square to the front. Go ahead and open up to warrior two. Deepening our stance. Really working that strength in that right front quad. Flip the right palm up. Reverse your warrior. Big inhale here. Feeling that nice side stretch. As we exhale here, we're going to come back to warrior two. I want you to very lightly rest your right arm on your right quad and bring that right arm up overhead for side angle pose. Nice side stretch in the left body. Inhale back up to warrior two. Turning onto the ball of the foot for crescent lunge. We're going to shift the weight forward, lowering the chest up to warrior three. Big inhale as we elongate our body. Exhale back, crescent lunge. Planting the heel, clasping the hands, big deep breath in as we open our heart to the ceiling. Exhale, humble warrior. Slowly lowering to the right quad, deepening into the right knee. Arms coming overhead. Inhale back to warrior one. Exhale, coming onto the ball of the left foot, planting the hands, back to plank. Shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Sweeping the left leg in with your inhale. Hips square to the floor, onto the ball of the right foot. Exhale, knee to chest. Adjusting the stance. Inhale, warrior one. Hips square to the front. Exhale, warrior two. Again, looking back, making sure our arms are in a straight line front and back of the mat. Flipping the left palm to the ceiling. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, left elbow lowers to the left knee. Side angle pose. Nice stretch all the way from the outside of the right foot all the way to the right pinky. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, turning into crescent lunge. Slowly lowering the chest as we shift the weight forward to warrior three. Pulling the crown of the head forward, right foot all the way back, pulling in two opposite directions. Lower back to crescent lunge. And lowering the heel for warrior one. Clasping the arms behind. Big deep breath in, heart to ceiling. Exhale, humble warrior. Relaxing the chest, deepening the stance into the left knee. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, plant the hands, come onto the ball of the right foot, step back to plank. Shift forward, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Balls of the feet, inhale, exhale, step or hop. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, cactus the arms, pulling the chest to the ceiling. Opening the heart. Inhale, arms overhead. Let's clasp the hands, push the palms to the ceiling, and pull our hands to the back of the mat. Bending the knees, pulling the tailbone back, arching the back. Navel into the spine. Exhale, arms nice and wide. Arm right over left. Hair everywhere. Right over left, give yourself a hug. Trying to grab onto your shoulder blades if you can. Slight tilt to the right. The left. Getting a nice stretch in your right side body. Inhale back to center. Opening the arms. Left arm over right, giving yourself a hug. Inhale and exhale. Get a stretch in the left side body, going to the right. Inhale to center. Arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower down, all the way to your belly. Inhale, cobra. Pull the belly button in, shoulders down away from the ears, using your back muscles to pull yourself up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, grab on to the ankles, and then push your ankles against your hands to extend upward, trying to keep the toes of your feet together. Bow pose. Exhale back down to the floor. Go ahead and roll over onto your back. Big inhale. Stretch your hands and feet as far as you can to the top and bottom of the mat. Exhale. Draw your knees in. Give them a little squeeze. Maybe a little rock back and forth. Massage the back. If you want to pull your shoulders off the floor, get a nice rounded back. It feels a little bit better. Inhale, spine nice and long. Exhale. I'm going to drop the knees to the left, very slowly, I should say lower. Gaze over to the right. You can kind of rest your left hand on your knees if you need a little extra stretch. Kind of a gentle side twist here. Inhale back to center. Exhale, lower the knees to the right. Gaze over the left fingers. You can keep the palms facing the ceiling if you want to soak in a little extra energy. Inhale back to center. Exhale, go ahead and set yourself up in Shavasana. Heels to each corner of the mat, letting the feet kind of fall outward naturally. Relaxing the core, relaxing the back, relaxing the neck, drawing the shoulder blades kind of underneath the body. Palms facing up to the ceiling. With every breath, I want you to think of a wave of water starting at your toes. Deep breath in, kind of splashing over your body and soaking up a bunch of energy at the top. And on the exhale, just let it flow all the way from your head down to your toes. Letting every bit of tension, frustration, anger, any emotions you're feeling, letting those out with it. Deep breath in. And letting it all out. Breathe in. And let it go. Take a minute and focus back on the intention you set at the beginning of class. Remember that the work you put in today was dedicated to that. Keep that with you as you go through the rest of your day. Reach your hands overhead. Last little deep breath in, stretching as far as you can. And exhale, go ahead and roll onto your side. And slowly sit up. Thank you guys for allowing me to guide you today. I will see you on your mat tomorrow. Namaste.